Okay. Howdy, everybody, and welcome. I appreciate y'all being here. So, as always, the first thing of business is the PDF of the profit and loss statement. Has everybody had a chance to look it over?
It
Okay.
looks better than normal.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, something's going on between PayPal and QuickBooks because there's a lot of duplicates, both expenses and income. So while that $774 looks wonderful, it doesn't exist. So I'm having to go through and slowly clear out all these duplicates, and we're talking about 3 months worth of duplicates. So I just went ahead and ran this to give you a general idea of where we're at. As of today, we are actually $300 in the hole waiting on our bills are pending payments. So we're short that.
Well, that's
But
no fun. I was
yeah,
feeling good about this.
yeah. Well, here's Denise. Good. Okay. All right. All right. Hello, Denise.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was in another meeting and couldn't get
No,
away. Sorry about
no
that. How's
problem.
everybody?
Good. We just started with the profit and loss statement, so you're just at the beginning, so we're good. So as I was mentioning to the others, we have a lot of duplicate charges and income showing up between PayPal and QuickBooks. And so I'm having to clear those out to figure out what's going on. So that $774 we look like we have, we don't have. We're actually at $300 in negative pinning, and I want to say this, we have no money and we have $300 worth of bills that need to be paid. So that's where we're at right now. The last 3 weeks have been pretty quiet since Lone Star. We haven't had, we had one membership come in and one reservation for next year's LSF, and that's it. So money's been very, very tight. So,
Did
when I
many
get
sign up that day?
no, on that day, actually, well, no, that's not bad. There was 4 or 5 that actually signed up that day, so that's not bad. It wasn't as much as I wanted, but considering the turnout, it wasn't a motivating factor to get people to
The
sign
heat
up.
probably fried our brains. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
And everybody is definitely happy that we're doing it indoors next year, so that's a good
yes,
thing.
yes.
So, are there any questions about the P&L?
No.
Okay. Understanding that, we are showing the duplicates in there, regardless of that, does anyone want to approve these as is?
I approve them.
Okay, secondary?
A second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, so let's move on then to old business. We have the new issue of the magazine coming out in 5 days, 4 days. And I've not heard from any of you about any errors or corrections, so I'm assuming there are none.
And I don't think I saw any glaring ones in the last. I mean, I don't think I saw anything in the last issue. So
Okay, all right. So, and if you happen to review it over the next couple of days, please let me know, because I'm not going to send out early notices until next Tuesday. So between now and then, if you guys find any errors, please let me know so I can get them fixed beforehand. And this is our largest issue so far. The
maybe
October
I didn't
issue.
see this one. I better look that one over. Yeah, I don't know that I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah, it's definitely our
Yeah,
largest.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, Alan. I got to go back and see if I saw it. I'm sure you sent it. I just got to go back and look.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what I'll do is, actually, let me do this while we're talking. So as I mentioned, it is our largest one, but October's issue which is about planning ahead for book releases and marketing of books and stuff like that. It looks like that's going to actually be a 2-issue edition. So October will be the first half with 8 articles. And then January will be the second half with another 8 articles, all about book release, book promotions, things like that. So that should be very valuable to our members as well as to others, hopefully. So we will see how that goes. We still haven't gotten much as far as people signing up to take advantage of the ads. We've gotten a few, but not a whole lot. So we'll see how it plays out. It's definitely a marketing tool we can continue to use. So that's what that is. Short story contest is still low numbers. I think we've gotten 2 or 3 stories in since our last board meeting, so that's not very good. We usually get about 24 to 40 in that range for short stories. So we are really hitting the low market here. So I'm not sure what else to do. I keep putting it out in the newsletter. I put it out in social media, but I'm just not sure where else.
Does that bring in much money?
It covers its expenses and gives us a little extra to play with from time to time. It's more the book sales that bring in the money.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't really do any book sales if we don't have enough stories to fill a book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So any suggestions, let me know. Just email me or something. Okay. The next item is the short story for students. August is generally when we launch that. I'm just not feeling it this year, simply because we haven't gotten a sponsor for it. We haven't received enough members to help cover the cost of promoting that. So any feedback from you guys? Should we do it? Should we not do it? Should we try? What? And this one is a total loss. We don't make any money on this. We actually lose money on this.
I say
no.
if it's causing more
Yeah.
work than it is profit, then
Yeah,
get rid of it.
to get that, no.
Yeah.
Okay. So membership, we're up to 48. So we've gained 3, even though we lost 1. So we actually gained 4 new members. So that's not bad. I'm happy at least
That's
we're
good.
Yeah, it's better than it has been. So, but at 48, that's still way below where we need to be. I keep sending out renewal reminders and notices and stuff like that. There's an event next month in Richardson. It's the Texas Authors Con. So I hope to connect with a lot of new authors there and see what happens.
I didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah, they're sold out. They sold out back in
Yeah.
March or April.
You know what, Alan? I have noticed
Sorry.
more than anything. Authors want to, you see, I just said I didn't know about that event. Authors want to know about things like that. And if they know that they can be kept abreast of where events are going on or what other things are happening, that's the kind of information that they're wanting. When we were in everybody was asking, well, do you know of any events that are coming up? Or do you know of any things? If we were to be a source for that, I believe that would help our membership.
Okay. Lone Star Lit has their website list, and that's where I get most of my information from, unless somebody else tells me. But I'm sure we can partner up with them to access that information and put it out there at probably like 2 months in advance or stuff.
Maybe we could put it in our
Mhm.
magazine too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could
Ask them if
actually.
they'd like,
So for like October, I could probably put in November, December, January, February events.
Yes.
Okay. That I can do. And I can try to reach out to each of the groups individually to see what additional information we can add into it or something. But yeah, that's something I can do. Okay. Let's see what else.
And Alan, you remember
Uh-huh.
when Becky, when you and Denise, we were asking you about ebooks. You know what?
Mhm.
Have you considered putting I don't know if you could put put a link to you to, and maybe you could say charge you and what you have links that say I can help with ebook and tell what it is you do with your ebook. You put it in the magazine and people could pay and you and Alan could work out something, but that would bring in revenue for people to access your service. But if they go through the magazine, that would help, that would benefit Texas office, Texas History Museum too. Am I making clear?
Right. I mean, I don't charge people. I'm just happy to help them, except for I did hold a resort, a retreat here at my beach house last year, and people have asked me to do it again. And I think we will concentrate more on, well, self-publishing or
Mm-hmm.
indie publishing, which would be ebooks a lot. But I do have an article coming out in this coming issue, so you might not want to see too much of me, but that is something I'll keep in mind.
And you did get a couple people from the magazine or from the newsletter for
Yes.
that event, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm blanking her name right now, but yes, she did come in. I think the other ones met me from a local event I had here. But anyway, yeah, she did. She was one of our award winners this year.
Oh,
I'm blanking her name.
I can't remember. One at the Lone Star, she was one of those.
She was at for the Texas Books
Okay.
Best
Book
Book
contest.
Award. But anyway, but yes, so I mean that is something I'll definitely be happy to help anybody with. And I know I told you I would send out some things to everybody, but that's something I didn't do. So I'll try to do it.
All right, so hiring staff, we still need to raise money for that. We really do need to replace me in the next 2 years. I don't see me lasting after that. So that's something we need to start focusing in on. How can we bring in the sponsorships and the memberships to cover the cost of hiring somebody to
What
take
you mean you
over
ain't
from
gonna
me?
last too long after that? Where you going?
I've had my share. And as you know, I'm still having to deal with the illness. So
Mhm.
interns, we did miss the date for that, so we weren't able to get any interns to help us. However, when school starts back up, we can then start trying to do that again, which we will definitely need for next year's Lone Star, just for that event alone and stuff. So we'll talk about more. Bookstore. Okay, so the list is complete on the bookstores. We had a good response for people giving us their information and wanting to be a part of it. It was, I'd say, about a third of the bookstore list, but that's coming down to July issues. So, that hopefully will help us and them in building that communication and that exposure for both sides. So, okay. As you know, we did the Lone Star Excellence Awards at the Lone Star Festival. Still want to do the plaques for those, but we don't have the money, so kind of holding off on that one. The Book to Earth campaign is continuing. We haven't raised any more money on that, so we're still, stuck on that one. Any question on old business before I go on?
I have a question about the bookstore.
Uh-huh.
So
Now, which bookstore? The
well,
outreach?
that's my question.
Okay.
We're working on our own bookstore, correct?
Right, and that's a new business, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
in
So I'll
just a
wait.
minute. Okay. All right, so if that was it, then let's go on to that question. So we have created a bookstore with bookshop.org. So every paid member is got their books listed if the books are through Ingram. If they're through Amazon, they're not listed. And that's the condition of the bookshop.org people, because they're getting all their books from them. And of course, Amazon doesn't have that facility, that distribution. So any book that is strictly Amazon is not in our bookstore, which brings up the issue of us needing to expand that. So on bookshop.org, any book that is directed to our store front and is sold, we get a commission off of that. It can range anywhere from 10 to 15%. It's generally average 10%. So that works fine for us for right now to use as a promotional tool because it's not costing us anything to be on them. And all we have to do is spend the time and energy to promote it on the social media website. So that is a benefit for those paid members. And hopefully that will add to making it more valuable for people to sign up and stuff because it's additional exposure and stuff. Ideally, I still want us to have our own physical bookstore online, but that's going to cost us at least $75 a month to create and operate on a monthly basis. So we would need to be selling easily 100 books a month to cover that expense. Not to say we can't do it, but that's a big ask right now. So while I want to work on it, and I'm dying to work on it because that would include both the Ingram and the Amazon group, we can't because we just don't have the money. So it's on my wish list to do. We do have a website. It is texasauthorsbooks.com. And that's what I'm using to send people to sign up for the email contest so that they could win books. We've had a few entries so far from social media, but not a whole lot. I need to fine tune that so that it does show the books that we do have in the bookstore so that it connects better. Because right now, all of you have your books listed on the website, but it goes to the Amazon page. And I need
But they can't buy it through that?
They can through the Amazon page, yes.
That we would get credit for? No, we couldn't set up like a PayPal link for that?
We can, but that's part of that $70 a month aspect.
Okay.
For the website that's right now, because it's so cheap, there's no payment.
No bells and
rate.
yeah.
No bells and whistles, exactly. And so all I need to do is just go in and redirect instead of to Amazon to our bookstore so that we can at least get 10% or something until we have the money to where I can properly create a bookstore that looks good and has both sides, Amazon and Ingram's books all listed and stuff. But until then, we do have a bookstore. It is up and running. We have about 200 books listed, which is a small amount. We should be way beyond that, but with 45 members, that's not that bad. So, okay. Does that help answer any questions on that or clarify? Okay. So yeah, with that, I'm just on hold until the money's a little bit more flowing. And once it is, then I will definitely work on that and build that up and stuff. All right. Okay. So Lone Star Festival 2025 and the world record attempt. We're going to hold that to the last because there's a lot to discuss about that. So under new business, is there anything else that you guys want to address or concern or comment or suggestions, ideas, anything?
Well, I just really wish we could.
I'm sorry?
Well, I'm on, you know what I'm on? I'm on here this Apple trying to figure out how to send you this stuff. That's what I was out here trying to do. I said, let me get this.
Oh, the videos? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then let's move on to the Lone Star and the World of Record. So Lone Star Festival, as of right now, I've worked with a hotel to get us a space to do it. I have gotten them down. They gave us a 30% discount on the meeting rooms. Okay. So that's going to help. They've given us a block of rooms to begin with. Ideally, we would love to have easily between 50 to 100 rooms sold. And if we do the world record, then we should be able to sell all those rooms, bringing in people from out of town and stuff. And that's 200 rooms. If we do reach that, we get a lot more benefits and bells and whistles and discounts and stuff. But right now it's step by step by step. To guarantee that we keep this space, we do need to come up with $2,500 as a deposit. And then the balance would be paid at 60 days prior to the event, which is fine because that's when we're asking everybody to pay up their money and stuff. So for right now, we need to figure out how to raise $2,500 to hold the space. There's no immediate rush on it. We've got a good 30 to 45 days, basically till the end of July. And then, we have to refigure it. So that gives me time to work with sponsors to see what we can come up with to try to get some of that money and stuff. I haven't done anything with the sponsors yet because I wanted to see what we were going to do as far as the world record aspect and stuff. So I'm hoping all of you had a chance to read over what I sent about that.
I thought it was good.
That's it.
Okay. So as of yesterday, Guinness World Records responded and say, okay, these are the 5 that we can acknowledge. And if you choose to do them, we can certify you for if you meet the records. Okay. And I sent that update to you this morning. So it's the longest line of books, which is roughly 51,000. Most books toppled as a domino effect was just under 11,000. Most books donated in a 1-week period was just shy of 700,000. That was a 1 week. I asked, since we're a 2-day event, could they adjust that for a 2-day or have an additional for a 2-day? She's put in the request to see what they say, and they'll let us know. But as a 2-day, we should be able to do something in that aspect. Most authors signing their own book simultaneously, that was 1,502 authors. Okay. That's a lot of authors to be signing their books at one time. It would be great if we had that many at the Lone Star festivals promoting their books, but
do they have to be at one location?
yes.
Could it be an online event?
No, it was all in one location.
Okay.
Okay, but now speaking about online, the 5th one that they recommended was most authors reading consecutively from their books. That happened with 111 authors in a 28-hour period. Basically, every 15 minutes, a new author would read from their book, okay, for a 28-hour period. So for those that were up late at night, that was kind of tough for them, but that's something we could definitely try to achieve. Okay. So number 5, the most authors consecutively, the longest line of books, and the most toppled would be the 3 that I would love to achieve. By having the most books in a line easily fits into the domino effect. And number-wise, I mean, that would be great. If we had 51,000 books in a line, there's 51,000 domino, right?
Right.
So those 2 would be easily to knock out. Now, 51,000 books is not that hard to do if 1,000 authors showed up, and if on average every author publishes 5 books. And well, that's 5,000, so we would need more. But that could also come in on the donation aspect. How many books can we get donated prior to the event so that we had those books to do the domino or the line or whatever? So,
You would need 10,000 authors with 5 books. Well, no, 10,001 authors with
Right.
5 books to get to that.
Okay, I've done my
51,000.
part. I've got 30-something books, okay? I took up a few authors.
Yeah, and I have 40, so that helps out.
Well,
we're up to
I'm
70.
sorry, y'all. I got 7.
Okay.
I got 5. I tell you
Yeah.
what we could. Well, it was another lady. She had about 40 something too. Remember, we
Mhm.
interviewed her. A couple of them had a bunch of, but I'm gonna keep my faith up that we can do it. We just
Right.
gotta believe.
Yes. And I think we can. And if nothing else, over the next year, basically, with me hitting those events I've already gone to this past year and the ones that are still coming up for the rest of this year, we should be able to do that. We should be able to get, I mean, Austin alone has 5,000 authors in it. So theoretically, there's no reason we can't have 5,000 authors show up with their books and donate and then have them in a line and all that. Theoretically, I mean, it's just getting to them and making sure that they all know about it.
So what kind of space are we talking? Like in this hotel, how many rooms? I mean, 5,000 authors. How much space is that?
That's huge. We would actually have to move it to a different location.
Yeah.
And that's where this board has to make that decision tonight, ideally, so that, if that is our goal, to get 1,000 authors with 50,000 books donated and all this other stuff, then I need to go to the city and say, look, this is what we're doing. Your location, and I'm drawing a blank on where it is, but it's a huge convention session area that could be used for it. It's got a large outdoor area as well as the indoor area. So between the two of them, it can be done. And it's just saying, look, this is something historic that's going to bring press to the city. We want this free of charge. We should be able to get it. It's just getting, saying, okay, as a board, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to push it? With Lone Star, if we do it just strictly at Lone Star, it may not be as big, but we could still pull it off, especially with the books donated. That would be the drop-off center, and people can easily just drive in, drop off books for the donation. That's easy enough to do. But ideally, we want them to be walking in to donate the books and then check out the books that are being sold that weekend, so that we're building the business. And that's the whole point of doing the world record, is to bring business to the Lone Star so the authors are making money on book sales, publicity, etc.
Okay, I'm going to blow your mind for a second and ask you a
Sure.
question.
I'm used to it.
Something else for you to think of. When I first joined, we had, the AME, the actual convention, or some, that was wonderful. That helped me more than anything. That was huge as a beginning author.
Right.
I think our market, as far as getting members, are new members. I mean, new authors. They're people who are needing to know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
How expensive was that? Could we afford that, and could we combine them?
So the reason I stopped doing that was because now there's a whole bunch of other organizations that are doing it. When we first started in 2016, the first one you attended, nobody was doing it. So we had that initial niche market, and we had it for a good 3 to 4 years, up through 2019. But, at that point, that's when all the others started popping up.
But doing
Yes.
what?
Doing the same thing, having classes, teaching authors, how
I
to
go
do
to
this,
them.
how to
I
do
still
that.
go to them. I
Yeah.
still go,
Yeah, and it was a fun thing to do.
Mhm.
It's expensive to do.
Yes.
And we would average about, it grew to be about $20,000 a year to do. Okay. And when we got hit with COVID, and everything just
Exactly.
fell apart, we lost that money.
Mhm.
We lost that thing. And that's why it's so important that we build that back up. So to
Well,
your
what-
point,
Yeah.
okay, what I am considering doing, and I think it's going out on Thursday's newsletter, is suggesting that at the Lone Star we have panels
Mhm.
Panel discussions, because I think you
Yes.
and somebody else has mentioned that before. So there's no reason we can't do that in those rooms that we've already are booking for us.
And I think then you could get more authors, more bigger name authors who are used to doing that. It's exposure for them. I don't know the average author, or maybe not the average, a new author, if they would be as enthused about coming to one of these events, and just to make the world record, unless there was something else that they were also doing what they were getting while they were there.
Yes. And I did put out that request, who would you love to have at this? Nobody responded. Well, I take that back. We did get one response, and that was from Victoria Quinn saying, hey, I'd love to do it. Well, unfortunately, she's a nobody, and I politely expressed that to her, and she fully understands that, as to what we're trying to do. But otherwise, nobody responded, hey, I'd love to see this one or that one or anything. So that's left up to me and us to say, okay, let's do it. You mentioned that Lone Star, Linda Brody. So I wanted to definitely reach out to her after the board meeting, see about her. But we need to figure out who has a big name that we can invite to participate. I'll cover their hotel room.
I was just gonna say, isn't that very expensive?
It can be, yes. And again,
Everything is expensive if we think about it. Now, I go to the grocery store is expensive right now. Everything is expensive. So we gotta, I was just sitting here thinking, I thought, well, maybe if we start out and do the reading for 48 hours or something like that, and get our name in there, because that seems like that's the easiest thing to do right now.
Mhm.
But get our name in there, and then we go for then we move to the next one.
So you're saying for the world records, just do one this year, and then next year add another one, or do another one, or whatever?
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we start with the one that's probably the easiest to obtain, then that gets our name in there.
Okay.
Then when we get ready to do the bigger one, our name is already in there. So I believe that will attract more sponsors as well. That's just my suggestion.
So are you saying only have a like the Lone Star Festival with just trying to do the 28-hour reading? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Denise?
if we start with one that we can really we can
Get behind.
we can do it, and it is not as much cost, then our name is in there. And then when we move to the next level, because we're moving up, we're not moving down, we're moving up. When we move to the next one, our name is already in there. We got some support. We can say, well, our name is already in the Guinness Book of Life, in the world Guinness World Book, and we had yada 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 yada. This year we're going for 51,000 books. So we can really we can talk noise.
And that's
what
not
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good. But Alan, could we go for broke and you go to the city and see if they would go for letting us have the space?
Yeah.
I mean, we can, and to that,
because we could do one in the fall and one in the summer, and that in the summer. That's what I'm saying. It's not like we can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so okay, yes.
Give you more to think of, Alan.
And what what I was thinking was, we still need that draw for the Lone Star, and yes, the readers would be a good draw, and we can definitely set it up in a room that has chairs for people to come and listen to the authors and stuff like that. So that can easily be done. We have the space. I mean, we have the entire hotel meeting space, lots of rooms there and stuff. But what I would like to do would add the book donations as a secondary draw to bring the readers in. Bring in X number of books, and you get X number of dollars to spend on new books there at the Lone Star. And start that as an annual event as well, so that the next year we can say, hey, we want to set this record. We brought in X number of books this year. Next year, we want to set a record at this many books. So that, just like you said, we're already in the world record for one thing. Now we've built on it and add in, but
Are
also
these
still
new
have a draw.
books?
It could
New
be new or
books?
used.
Okay, and what will happen to the books once they?
So for that, the authors that are Texas authors, of course, we need to figure out a way to save those for the museum. But for other books, like the children's books, we could easily work with our partners over at Bookshop to donate them to them, and find other organizations, even the schools, and say, hey, these are used books, but we'd be glad to donate them to you for your libraries and stuff. Because that, with all the schools hurting financially this next school year, they can use that extra benefit.
And small community libraries,
Mhm. And there's plenty of them, yeah. So we can definitely use them and put them out. It'll be more work on me and figuring out how to house them and the initial cost of that and stuff, depending on how many we get in and stuff. But at the same time, we're getting those books we need of Texas authors books for the museum. We need to build back what we lost in 22. So that could work in both aspects. How's that sound?
That's good. Maybe we need to. We got a lot of big names in Texas that got books. And maybe we just need, we have not because we ask not. That's what the Bible tells us. So anyway, I'm gonna always go there. But so maybe we ought to send letters out to some of these people and say, this is what we're doing. Would you be a participant?
Well, like you said, Alan, we're willing to cover their hotel and are we willing to cover the transportation to the event?
As long as they're Texas authors, it shouldn't be too expensive. So yes, we would just have to add it into our budget. So.
Okay.
And
so
food would be covered too.
How many would we want? No more than 1 or 2 or 3 authors? Or how many?
No less than 2 big names. 3 would be best. Excuse me. And by big names, I mean best-selling authors that have a
Are you talking?
So big names like?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, he's dead, but McMurray would be a perfect example.
Yeah.
Right.
Jody Thomas, she's a big Texas author.
Okay, Michelle Stimson,
Yeah.
right. She's I'm friends with her on Facebook, so something.
What was her name?
Michelle Stimson, Stimpson. She's on Facebook. She's written a lot of books.
We got some Texas authors that are on the New York Times best-selling list. We need to ask them too. I mean, we have not because we asked now. It ain't gonna hurt us to ask. What can they say? Yay or nay?
Right.
So is this for, but clarify for me, is this for panel or just speakers or what are we talking right here?
So
speakers and then some panels?
Yes, as well as the reading.
Yeah.
So it would be a multiple aspect and thing. So they'd come in for a weekend, basically participating in all of that. And ideally, say we ended up with 3 good people, we would spread them out in that 28-hour period so that they're not all at one time and we lose interest in all the other hours. We'd spread them out to gain people coming in to see them for those specific things. So if you know any romance writers that are really good, let me know because we can put them towards the evening and stuff like that. So.
Alan, can I say?
Sure.
What about that lady that had them 40 books, Alan? I'm so sorry. She was a romance writer. Remember we interviewed her. She had about 40-something books.
I honestly don't remember which one that was, but give me a minute. I'll think about it. What did you want to say, Charlotte?
Well, something I wanted to say, because I know that they were talking about the Guinness Book of World Records, striving for it. And like I say, we can do the reading thing, but I hate to give up the others because that could be a draw. People would love to be part of some big thing, like getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. People want to do that. And I don't want to limit, I would not want to limit it to just one. Now, whether we attain all of them or not, but we've got to target and we're, working towards it.
Yeah.
That-
So with the reading, that would be we would have to have a minimum of 111 authors reading. So that's a large number of authors to begin with. So for everyone who's signed up for the Lone Star Festival to have a table, they would automatically be one of those readers. Okay, so that's a benefit for them to being there and stuff. And of course, we're recording this, and we could actually do a live feed those 28 hours on the internet to draw attention to it as well and stuff. Hopefully, that would also encourage membership into, building our membership back by, getting that list of 120 authors and stuff. As far as the books donated, yes, that would be a great thing to do. As far as the other ones, all signing at one time, it would be great to have that happen, but 1,500 authors is a heck of a challenge. But it's not to say we can't do it. And so let's put it this way. Let's make a motion in this respect, okay? Let's say, yes, well, let's go for doing a book donation, not necessarily a world record, but doing the book donation to draw people in. For every book they donate, they get 50-cent credit to buy a book in the Lone Star event, okay? Then have that 28-hour reading period, try to go for a record of at least 120 authors to read 15 minutes each. If the city says yes to giving us that space to be able to do the other, then if they say yes, and it doesn't cost us anything, then we would add in the longest line of books and the domino thing. Okay, that way, as long as it's not costing us a lot more by having to rent a space or anything, if it's a free space and the city backs it and supports it, then we can really push it in and draw that in. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
I think we're going for several of them, and hopefully we'll obtain more than one, at least one, but maybe more. Yeah, don't limit ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, so to that effect, since, again, if the city says yes, okay, one of the things that is not on that list of 5 that I had talked about previously is the most indie authors gathered in a single space. They don't count that as a world record for some reason. They do not count the most African-American authors or the most Hispanic authors or the most female authors. They don't do sex qualifications or gender or race qualifications. They don't do that, which is fine.
Just as a whole.
Right. But there's no reason that can't still be part of the overall thing, especially when it comes to the book donation or the reading even. Because, if they don't have, of all the events I've gone to, I've never seen more than 50 to 60 authors at one place. Have you guys?
No.
At a
They say
book
that
selling,
Houston had a whole
At a
bunch of them.
festival or anything? I mean, all the African-American events have had between 25 to 40. This one that I'm supposed to go to in July, I think they're maxing out about 50. The one that happened last weekend up in, where was it? North Dallas had about 60. So none has ever reached 100 plus. So that would be a record in itself if we could do that. And that's a good starting point to build a record of that nature. Even if it's not a world record or Guinness World Record, it could be a Texas record.
a Texas record,
Yeah.
Texas world record or whatever, Texas
Yeah.
record.
And it would be
Okay.
something that could build our membership back up
Mhm.
again by getting them to support that. So,
I got a question. So have we thought about ever in people donating their books, if they donated 2 books and we brought in the library there in Austin, the library, and then the library would offer, we could get the library to also put the books in the library?
The ones that were donated or others?
They're gonna donate more than one.
Okay, so are
One
you
was-
talking about new books?
I'm just talking about people's books. We were at an
Okay,
event,
so-
we were at an event for Juneteenth, and we were called a human book. And so we sat there and we talked about our experience with Juneteenth. Of course, I'm not a Texas native, but she still wanted me to talk from my perspective of what I learned about it after I moved to Texas. And then her offer to us was that she took a copy of all of our books and she's going to get them in the library.
So yes, that can happen. And those are all new books, and that usually is not an issue. I know Austin has gotten a little snobby about it. And that's just in the last couple of years because of the book ban issue. They have to meet certain criteria now issued by the state. But it's still something that can be done. For the most part, any Texas authors that's donating a new book to us, we're keeping for the library, our museum. So that's definitely one thing we're doing. But all the other books we can dole out to other groups, and I've got a whole year to figure out who to give books to and stuff. So we can definitely work through that and develop that and stuff.
What's your ideal? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I would check on this too. Now here in Dallas, I know the city of Dallas, they have a grant that they give out. It's called the Office of Arts and Culture. And as long as you're doing something culturally, so, you know, authors from all ethnicities is culture. And so you could probably, I wonder, do they have that there where if we applied for it, they would be able to, you know, if we got the money, I think it's a good amount, but we would be able to use it toward the event.
I think the requirement for them would be the fact that it has to be there in Dallas.
No, I'm saying, I wonder, does Austin have one?
Oh,
well?
yes.
That's what I'm
yes.
saying.
As a matter of fact, we just missed the deadline for applying for that for this year, which is fine because the next deadline, I think, is in 3 months that will cover us for the June.
Mhm.
So yes, I do have that on the list of something to do. One of the city council members responded back to my query about that and gave me 3 different grants that the city does to help us with that. So yes.
Yes.
Okay. And the state of Texas has their thing that we could easily do if we can get our financials certified before the end of the year. To meet the deadlines, we have to have it done before the end of the year to have last year's financials certified so that we qualify for state funding.
Mm.
Okay. But again, that's $400 or $500. It's not in our pocketbook at the moment.
We got to be state certified. What I don't understand.
So our books, our accounting records have to be certified by an accountant. Okay. And then they have to meet the gold seal of approval from a nonprofit organization. When that is done, then the state says, okay, you are certified and you're legit. Basically, they're saying you're legit. So now we will give you money.
Oh, they don't do that here.
Yeah, well, the state program does. And this is something they started, I think, 3 years ago. And we just have not had.
I guess I'm talking about grants from the city, I guess.
Right,
okay.
right. Yeah, yeah. We've got that, but then there's also state grants we can go to once we are certified. So yeah, there's money available, not just our sponsors, but that as well. So yes. Okay.
So what were you saying about the donation idea? If they bring a book, they get 50-cent credit. Is that from the authors? I mean, from the author themselves or from our organization, or what were you?
So let's talk about that. How many books should they donate in order to get some type of credit that they can, we didn't do it this year, but last year at Lone Star, we had the $1 bookmarks that went out to the students. So if the students brought in that bookmark that gave them $1 off of any purchase, we paid 50 cents of that to the author, and the author absorbed 50 cents, which is nothing for a book sale. So that would be the equivalent. If somebody brings in X number of books to the donation, we would give them a voucher valued at X dollars or X cents or whatever, that they could walk into the Lone Star Festival and spend it as if it were cash.
We could do that. We could also do like, you know, a little sticker, like I voted sticker, I contributed sticker.
That's cute.
Whatever we're going to call it, the Texas event, Texas World Record of whatever, they could get a certificate that says, you know, I contributed, and they could hold it up. We could take their picture and put it on Facebook. I mean, it wouldn't cost us money. Just some kind of, let them feel like they're a part of doing what, you know, what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I like that idea of being able to take a picture of them donating and post it up on social media. We would need a team to do that, and that's part of, I think, one of the things I've listed in there. But yeah, that would be a good thing to do, and I think it would make them feel special at that moment. It wouldn't cost us anything, you're right, other than setting that up. We can even have a backdrop that promotes it and all this other stuff, or like one of those little what they call it, frames that they can hold up, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, that could easily be done. Yeah, I think that could work. Okay, I like that idea. What do y'all think?
Everyone likes their certificates. You see my wall behind me.
So, okay, so let's talk about that. In reference to the authors, okay? At one point, I was thinking, okay, what can we charge the authors that are not getting a table at Lone Star to participate in this, to cover our expenses, you know, help raise the money to cover our expenses? And what would they get in exchange for that money? And I'm looking to find it.
So you're saying those that don't buy a table with the $50 table, but they still want to participate in the book things and all that?
Right, if they want to be a part of the world record event, whether it's reading in that 28-hour period, or, you know, yeah, if they want to be a part of that, or whatever else we end up doing at the end, charging them a fee to participate, but a small fee, so that it covers our expense. It just covers our expenses. And what do we give them back for that? It's in that package I sent you, and I'm trying to find the page.
So
Okay,
how much is
author-
go ahead.
So it's the author package suggestions, which is on page 13 of page 7 of the 17 pages. What was your question, Becky, before I go there?
Oh, well, of the room, even if they give us the 30% off the hotel, how much money are we talking to get our venue if we don't get for free?
Okay, so for the hotel venue,
Mhm.
it's in the budget. So let me add it up real quick. It's $5,000 roughly. Okay, that's for all of the rooms.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
And of course, if we sell the hotel out, we could probably get that.
Yeah.
Well, the food items would be discounted, not the room, or not the meeting rooms. But yeah, if we take all the meeting rooms, which is one large one, which is kind of like the banquet hall, then we have 3 small ones, then a small little executive one, and then we have a conference room that's set up like a theater. And then we also have 2 additional rooms towards the back part of the thing. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. So it's a lot of rooms that we can definitely use so for all of the aspects of what Lone Star is and the world record and stuff.
Alan, do you
Yes.
think it's feasible after, you know, because one of the things we definitely have focused in on and we know we're going to do is that reading of, you know, 15-minute reading of however many authors it takes. for the 28 hours, I think you said it was. At some point, if we could get all of those authors together and take a picture on social media and, I think that would be, fantastic for promo on all media.
Correct. And that would be part of that other Texas record of how many authors are gathered in a single place. Because if we can reach that 120 goal for authors reading 15 minutes, then that theoretically is 120 authors that can be at one location during that weekend to do exactly that. Have that class picture like I do at the Lone Star. I do a class picture every year, and I use that on the website. I use it on promotions and stuff. So it would be the same thing. So yes.
So Alan, if we could get 120 authors just to register and with the $50 table, that would cover that. And then any authors that would come that wanted to participate, that would be extra, right?
Okay, so let me clarify something because I can see there's a little confusion here. So right now, that $50 is reserving the table. It's not paying the full table. The full table, right now, if as of today, if they come in and say, I want to reserve a table for Lone Star 25, it's a $50 pay up front. If you choose not to attend, you lose the money. But 30 days prior, you have to pay it off, which is $225 total. So minus the $50, they owe us $175 by 30 days prior to the event. Okay. So it's
weren't we offering some kind of discount at first though? Doesn't it go up each time?
Exactly. So the initial $50, which was up until June 2nd, guaranteed the table at $150.
Okay.
Now it's $225.
I got totally mixed up on that. Okay.
And then
so the total event is $150.
No, total is $225 as of today.
Yeah.
Okay. After the first of the year, it will be up to $300 for a table.
Okay.
Okay. So the objective of getting the reservations now is to give us cash flow in. We need some money coming in the door. Okay. And it's also cheaper on people too, because then they can pay off the balance as they want to and stuff. So they're not having to come up with $225 all at one time. So that's the objective in that respect. Give us $50 now, and then you can pay it off. Makes it easier on everybody's pocketbook. But that $50 helps bring in money for us right now. Okay, so in reference to the readers, do we want to charge authors to participate in the 28-hour reading-thon?
I'm thinking even if we only charged a minimum of $10, I think people will pay that.
I think if we're going to throw it in for people who have the table, I really think we ought to charge more than that, because this is going to be, they've got to look at it as an advertising standpoint. And hopefully they read their book. Someone's going to want to buy it. Plus, if they're going to get all this social blast from it, it's something different than just signing up for a promotion. It is a different thing. So, I mean, are
you thinking $20, $25?
I would say at least 25. I mean, $25, people should be willing to promote a book for $25.
Okay, I was thinking 50.
I would go for 50. I mean, that's what I think it really ought to be.
And what are they going to get? What are they going to get other than just being able to read their book for 15 minutes?
Okay, so
they're going to get all the marketing hub.
Right.
Okay.
But they're going to want a little bit more than that, and I fully understand that. So, when they sign up, of course, they get, hey, thank you for your donation. So it's a tax write-off, business write-off, whatever you want to put it at. They get a certificate similar to what we would get from Guinness's World Record Group. So we would duplicate that or create our own, saying this person participated in the World Record event, so that they could have it framed as, hey, I did this, I was part of this. And I think that's the most important thing. But we should also include some kind of a meal for them as well. Because they're going to be there. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I keep talking over you. There's a lag. This 28-hour period. Now, these are going to be in person or
In
virtual?
In person.
I'm sorry,
In person.
In person.
in
We
person.
would have to
Okay.
have two microphones going so that while one's while one's doing the reading, then the next person's getting set up on the other mic
Mhm.
so that it's going back and forth and there's no slowdowns or stoppage. They're constantly reading 15 minutes each.
Okay. So how about for that $50, we also have a panel or table set up that they can sell that book, even though they didn't buy a whole table. They could sell the book that they're reading from, or we could have a panel and they can explain why they wrote that book.
Okay. So include them in a panel if they choose to participate. And then have their books in the bookstore, not necessarily a table for them to sell it, but a bookstore that's available in.
Or just a lot of the panels I'm on, you sit there with your books in front of you, and then you can say, people come up and they'll buy your book or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
at the panels, yeah. Okay.
So Becky, what are you saying?
I don't
After they
know.
get
That's
through
just an
reading
idea.
for their 15 minutes? Yeah, but after they get through reading for their 15 minutes, then they get an opportunity to sell their book. Is that what you're saying?
Or just set a time that, at 12, we're going to have a panel of authors or, a selling of authors. And then at 1, you have another slot or whatever. Maybe not immediately after they read, just throughout the day, have some time.
So
I don't know, just a thought.
Okay. Okay, that's something I'm gonna have to table and ponder and figure out and email you guys with. My gut is to say, I don't want them to have a table to sell the books because everybody at Lone Star
they didn't
has
pay
their
for it.
table.
That's true. That's true.
But at the same time, I would not object to having their books in our official bookstore. That's makes the book available to them, to people to buy it. And then, they can catch the author at any given time to have them autograph it while they're at the event.
If we're going to do panels, why don't we just set aside without them selling their book, except through the bookstore? Why don't we just give them a little chance to talk to why they wrote that book, or just a mingle with that, or I don't know, something like that.
Right. And it comes back to, what are they going to get out of that $50 that makes it valuable to them,
Right.
to make them feel they're getting $200 worth of services versus
Yeah.
just 50.
Right.
Okay.
The marketing media, afterwards.
Yeah.
That's part of it as well. And can they, well, obviously they can use that certificate and their information for their marketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
How
I would
about-
say marketing is a big.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
Right. So to that extent, how about this? What if we give them the option to include bookmarks in the official goodie bag for the event?
Yeah.
Normally we charge $50 for any author to say, here's 1,000 bookmarks, go ahead and shove them in your goodie bag. These people, as part of that $50, they get to do it for free, and we would get all that information ahead of time, stuff all those goodie bags as the official goodie bag package and stuff. So they gain that additional exposure during and then again after.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus a meal. Any other ideas?
I think we just need to push that they're a part of the big event, trying to make for the Guinness World Record and definitely the Texas record, and that they contributed and they and they're getting their name out there, social, all sorts of promotion from it.
Okay. All right. So in reference to the fee, And again, I'm trying to think of ways to help build our membership back up, okay? I was thinking for all level 3 members, which is about 40 of them, they can participate for free if they want to do it. If they're level 2, which is about 5 or 6 of them, they would get 50% off the $50 fee. If they are not a member, it would be a $50 fee.
I like
$50
that.
fee.
I'm sorry? I think I heard 2 voices at that point.
I said,
was
I
just saying
like that
$50.
idea.
Okay. And I was just saying $50 to come and read your book for 15 minutes. Okay, is that what we're saying?
Right.
Okay.
So if they're a level 1, or excuse me, a level 3 member, which is, they paid $100 to be a member for the year, they get to be, if they want to, they can participate for free. We're not going to charge them extra for it. So it's a benefit for them. If it's a level 2 member who's paid a $50 membership fee, they get 25% off, or excuse me, 50% off the fee. So instead of costing them $50, it would only be $25. And if they're not a member, if they're level 1, which is that free membership, or they're not a member of the organization and they want to participate, they would have to pay the $50 fee.
So if they join new, they would automatically get to be part of that $50. No,
If they're a
No, they
level
have to-
3, if they pay $100 level 3 membership, yes, that's
yes,
included.
if they paid the higher amount, that would include theirs, and they would get the year's worth of being a member.
Right.
Right?
And all
Am I
those
saying that
benefits.
correctly?
Correct.
Yeah.
And if
But
they only come in at the
how-
level
how would-
2,
Uh-huh.
it would be that $50 membership fee plus $25 if they wanted to participate in the event.
Yeah.
Plus all those.
Still not a bad deal. Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider, if they're not a member, they pay $50, would you give them an incentive to say, well, you've already paid $50, you can become a member they've already paid $50 to pay to read the book. Why don't, we give them some type of incentive, you can join the group you can join this organization for, or
$50 more or
something.
$25 more.
Yeah, $50 more, $20 more, something to give them because you can build a membership that way.
Exactly. And that's why I want to give the free and 50% discounts to say, look, here's all these benefits of being a member. And if you're a level 3, yeah, you paid $100, but you get this for free and you get all these other benefits for free. So you're saving money in the long run.
Not that I'm knocking, because I don't remember what level I am. I'd be saving myself money if I keep
don't
my mouth
either.
shut.
You're all 3. You're all 3.
Okay. But
Oh, okay. So,
we're trying to get these new people. So I think we need to focus more on them, because half of us already have our table, so we're getting it. So rather than give away stuff to people who you already have, why aren't we trying to hook the people we don't have?
It's a combination of both. It's keeping the members that we have and saying, we appreciate you. We love having your money. We want you to stay. So this is a benefit we're giving you. And at the same time, as we're going out there and say, hey, this is an event coming up, it costs X number of dollars to participate. But if you join, it costs you less. And you still get the magazine ad, you get, the extra social media promotion. So you get X number of dollars worth of services if you join, which is going to be much bigger, much better than if you just pay the $50 to do the event. That's how I'm seeing it.
I see it that
What
way
if-
too.
Yeah. Or I was going to say, what if we had to pay $25 if we're level? Because you're also, maybe I'm wrong. If we bought a table, if people buy $225 worth of a table, they're going to get a $50. They can be in that reading, right?
Correct. It's
Okay.
included.
So they're going to pay $225 and get that. Of course, they have a table they can sell, or a member who's already paid their money, they're getting it free too. So I don't know, is there a happy medium that we can meet somewhere? And
I see what you're saying, because I didn't think about that aspect.
yeah.
Um, Okay, so for level 3, then we would offer 50% discount. So instead of $50, they pay 25. For a level 2, we would give them a 25% discount, which would save them 10, 12 bucks. And then everybody else pays the full 50.
What's everybody think about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm,
You're hesitant. Come on. You've got a booth there, Denise Montgomery. So, you know,
I'm just looking at it. The members have already paid $225 to participate in the event.
right. So they're
I think they should,
included.
I think they should already be included with no additional charge.
Correct.
My
They
thing,
they are.
with no,
The
no, I'm
table,
saying,
yes.
Yeah.
they would, for $225, you're already getting the table, right, Becky?
Right.
And you're getting
Right.
that, and you're getting that $50 worth of the 20
Participation.
participation.
Okay, so I'm saying you already got the person that's already, if you already got them, they've
Right.
already paid $225. You're trying to get
Right.
the new people. So you're gonna have 150, whatever it is, 100 new authors there. If I was looking at it, if I've already paid $50 to come in and pay to read for 15 minutes, okay, you can say, okay, this $50 will go towards your membership, a membership, being a part of us. If you can just pay, if you just add $25 to it or something, give them some type of incentive to want to join.
Yes, and I will be doing that and following up with them. You know, if they say, yes, I want to be a part of this event, I'm paying the 50 bucks, great, thank you very much. However, we would love for you to be a member. So if you want to join, we will include that $50 as part of your payment, or part of that payment. I have to word it correctly because we don't want to give all of that $50 to them as credit, because level 2 is $50. So, that would wash out. So $25 of their $50 would be applied to the level
Membership.
2 or level 3 membership. So instead of paying $100, you pay $75, or instead of paying $50, you pay $25. And then you get that advertising in the magazine, you get the social media advertising, you get all that extra stuff we do for our members.
Because people always say for an additional $20, you can do
There
so
you
and
go.
so. So I mean,
Exactly.
we could just say, you do realize that if you pay an additional $50 or whatever it is, you would automatically be a member of our group. So you word it.
Yeah, it's finding the right wording, but yes, Denise, that's exactly what we would want to be doing. Is
Yeah.
you're paying the 50 bucks, and we want you to be a member. So here we're going to give you something extra, in exchange for you giving us a little extra. I know there's a better way of wording it. But yes, you're absolutely right, Denise. That's definitely one thing I want to be able to do with that. So, okay, I have 5 minutes left before I'm kicked out. So let's make that motion. And I wish I had written it down, but basically, let me go back. The motion that I had suggested is we go for the 120 authors reading for 15 minutes world record, okay, which would probably be like 30 hours or so, and charge $50 for people who are not a member and discount it for those that are members, which we've gone through, to help cover our expenses. And at the same time, encourage book donations. And we need to figure out how much we can do that in the next thing. But for now,
Okay.
that would be part of this motion. Those are the two things we're going to shoot for. And then as far as the Texas record goes, how many authors we can get in one location to set a record, okay, a festival record, okay? Because even the Texas Book Festival doesn't have that many authors, Texas authors at one time. So we could definitely beat that record. So that is the motion. If the city gives us additional space that I'm looking at for free, then we would increase our option to do the domino effect and the longest book line as an additional world records that we would try to achieve if the city gives us free of charge that space to do it. Does that sound right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So all in favor of that, please say, or somebody second that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. All of you do have a copy of the budget for Lone Star, which includes the world record information and stuff. I've pretty much broken it down, so please definitely review it and ask me questions, because based on everything I have right now, we're looking at a $60,000 event. Okay, and that's the advertising, that's certain food, that's staffing, that's security, that's the hotel rooms. You know, it's an expensive event. So we need to find those sponsors. We really do. And we need to find grant funding to help cover that expense. But this is something that's going to be a long-term project. And that's why I wanted to start it immediately, because it's going to take us that year to figure it all out and make sure it all happens. So certain things we'll have to cut back on if we don't make the funds, which we can do. But right now, this is the initial budget that I've set up on all the information I have to make this all work, make everything work for Lone Star, the world record, the whole bit, and make this a huge success.
All right.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
I've worn you guys out.
Do we need to, when will our next meeting be, Zoom meeting?
So the next one would be September.
Okay, I was just wondering, how quick do we have to, the sooner the better to get our funding in motion?
I'm going to start that
So-
tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Now that we have agreed to this,
And
now I
yeah,
can
know
go
what
to
we
the
want to do.
sponsors and say,
Yeah.
this is exactly what we're going to do. Here it is, it's spelled out. Here are the levels of sponsorship. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
I have a list of 25 top 500 corporations that are based in Texas that I'm going to reach out to. And then, of course, all the publishers that exist in Texas, big, medium, and small. I'm going to try to reach out to them and, you know, try to get them on board as sponsors and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Are you gonna have vendors, Alan?
for the Lone
Vendors?
Star,
Yeah, for long as they can buy vendor booths?
right. Yeah. So my goal is to have between 50 to 100 tables set up. Actually, let me take a quick look here. So I have, right now we have 14 that have already prepaid that $50 and are booked in at $150. So that's $2,100 we have coming in. The next group I had would be about 20 at 225, that's $4,500. And the last group would be 10 at 250, which would be another 4,000, or 16, excuse me, at 250 would be another 4,000.
No. I mean, Alan, like you said, you're gonna have publishers come in. Can the publishers have a vendor table?
That
And
would
then
be
you
part of
charge-
their sponsorship, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely part of the sponsorship. Especially if they're giving me 10 grand.
Mhm.
They get a corner booth with that.
Yeah. And all the signage and all that fun stuff, so. Okay, I think that
Alright.
covers everything at this point. If I'll definitely, of course, keep you up to date with the emails and all that fun stuff. I just sent you the copy of the July issue of the magazine, so if you get a chance, take a look at it, so that we can make sure it goes out looking sharp and clean and all that fun stuff. All right,
Okay.
Okay,
thank you all. Oh, I need someone to motion to end this session.
I make a motion.
Somebody second?
second.
All right. And
All
all in
right, good night,
favor?
y'all.
Good
Uh-huh.
night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.